Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of December. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the 2021 MSBA Annual Conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators. This year's event was held in Kansas City for the first time after being held virtually last year due to the pandemic. Among the general session speakers was Gene Becker, best-selling author and the chief of staff to former President George H.W. Bush until his death in 2018. Becker is a Missouri public school graduate. She said the former president's life of public service has lessons for all of us today.
He lived life with joy, with passion, but mainly he had a servant's heart. One of his favorite quotes was, "Any definition of a successful life must include service to others." And he didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk. And of course, that's what all of you are doing by serving on a school board.
Other general session speakers included Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez and Kansas City Chiefs mascot Dan Mears. The conference featured more than 100 concurrent sessions on a wide range of topics, including a panel discussion with members of the State Board of Education and Commissioner of Education Margie Van Dieven. The State Board of Education has now established the group's priorities for the upcoming legislative session. At the top of the State Board of Education's list of key legislative priorities, addressing the growing educator recruitment and retention issues affecting public education. Board members specifically want to see the minimum teacher salary increased from its current $25,000 per year to at least $35,000 a year by the beginning of the 24-25 school year. The board also intends to appoint a Blue Ribbon Commission to make recommendations on teacher recruitment and retention solutions and opportunities. Other legislative priorities include addressing the digital divide in the state, exploring alternatives that replace the traditional time-based education system with a competency-based system, and phasing in a plan to allow local education agencies to count 100% of 4- and 5-year-olds in early learning programs in their calculation of average daily attendance in the foundation formula. Meanwhile, MSBA's Delegate Assembly met in conjunction with the annual conference to establish the position statements that will guide MSBA's advocacy work during the coming session that convenes on January 5th. MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy, Mike Reed, tells us he expects the legislature to consider several bills related to school boards.
I see recall being one of the first bills to be introduced. I'm a little afraid that school board elections moving from April to November will be pushed very hard. I think when that happens, we lose our identity in the middle of a big general election. And the school board running as a partisan situation, Republicans or Democrats don't have a candle completely on what's best. What's best for kids is what's best for kids, not on a party line. And so I think that would be devastating to many school boards to run on a partisan situation. But I believe all of those will come up for discussion.
MSBA will strongly oppose bills providing school board recall, moving school board elections to the November general election date, and efforts to make school board elections partisan. We'll be keeping you informed on developments during the legislative session through our weekly Legislative Voice newsletter, critical issue alerts, and immediate updates on Twitter. Information on legislative issues also can be found on MSBA's Action Center website. And mark your calendar now for MSBA's Legislative Forum to be held in Jefferson City on March 7th. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.